I am your host, Big Jack. We deal with real stories, raw struggles, and powerful comebacks. Today, we possibly have the biggest comeback of all time, considering it started at like very young age, right? You've been coming back your whole life, it seems like. But Ice-T with us today.
Thanks for having me, man. It's a pleasure.
So, listen, I really like the idea that we try to talk about a little bit of adversity. We're sort of an addiction-based podcast, but really it's meant to inspire hope.
Yes, sir.
You have such a wonderful story growing up the way that you did. You being the guest and all, curious about your early life, and then if you could tell us about some of the challenges you faced growing up the way you did.
Well, I was born in Newark, New Jersey. I lost my mother when I was in the 3rd grade. She passed to a heart attack. And I was raised by my father until the 7th grade. So 4 years I was just with my dad. And then he passed away.
Wow.
And I was in the 7th grade. And at that time, my life was just a normal kid. I wasn't in any trouble. I wasn't doing anything. Just, 11, 10, 12 years, not in any drama.
Sure.
And his wish was for me to move to Los Angeles with his sister, who I'd never met. So I had an aunt that lived with me in New Jersey who was kind of like with my father, his sister, but they sent me to live with his other sister who I'd never met. So they told me, they said, well, you're going to go out there for the summer. And then next thing you know, all my clothes showed up.
Oh, wow.
And I was in a nice area of Los Angeles called View Park, which is west of Crenshaw. And it wasn't the worst situation. My aunt was a social worker. My uncle worked for the city. He drove a street sweeper. Mm-hmm. And they had a little money. They were upper middle class. And I lived in a room with my cousin who had just got out of high school, who everybody asked where I learned about rock. He thought he was Jimi Hendrix, and he kept the radio on KLOS and KMET. And when I got to LA, first I felt like I got betrayed because no one told me. But at that point in time in the days, kids didn't have much to say about what happened with their lives.
Right.
The parents just move you around. That's just what it is, and you just deal with it. So there was no one left in New Jersey for me to live with, so they moved me to California. I guess they thought that was best. And I went to Palms Junior High School in Culver City because that day they were doing forced integration, where they were taking kids from the Black communities and moving them to white schools, mixing it up.
Interesting.
So I would catch the bus every day and go to Palms in Culver City. And I did 3 years at Palms Junior High School, which was cool. But I could walk to Crenshaw, which was less than half a mile away from where I lived.
Right.
But when I got to high school, I just said I don't want to ride the bus anymore. I'm ready to walk to Crenshaw. And when I walked to Crenshaw, that was the culture shock. Welcome to the gangs. Welcome to the South Central energy. And I had to learn how to adapt to that.
Fascinating. So you're in high school and it's this massive change to the point where you probably felt safe at the other school in Culver City, and then maybe the degree of safety wasn't felt?
Nah, it wasn't so much a degree of safety. It was more or less just meeting a bunch of kids I never knew.
Okay.
I knew all the cats at Palms. So, in Palms, you had kids from Gompers, different kids from South Central that were going there. So you had an element, but there was no gangs yet. The gangs weren't there. When I got to Crenshaw, you got kids from Horace Mann, Bethune, Audubon, all the different South Central schools,
right.
What I call the flat area, South Central. And they had already become gangs. Mm-hmm. They were already clicked up. There's Crips and Bloods and all that. Sure. So now I'm coming to the school from my area. Maybe there was 5 of us that came to Crenshaw. And you just learn to adapt. It's like walking into prison. You're like, okay, there's different cars here, different sets, different people. But I wasn't no corny dude, so I figured out how to adapt and connect to the right people. I never joined the gang, but I quickly learned how to operate amongst the gang.
Well, you were probably recruited, I imagine, right?
Not really.
Okay.
See, you're not in a gang, you're from a gang. if you don't live in that neighborhood, you're not going to get put on in that gang. Crenshaw High School is in what's the Rolling 60s neighborhood. That's the hood the 60s are from. Right. Nipsey Hussle, all that. That's the 6-0s. But kids from Harlem, the 30s were there. The 8-Tray gangsters were there. Hoover Crips were there. When I got there, all the Bloods left the school and went to Manual Arts. The Brims moved to Manual Arts and went to Dorsey. So Crenshaw became a Crip high school.
Interesting.
And they don't really recruit you. You just either down with them or not. But the thing of it is, since I'm not from any of those particular neighborhoods, now where I grew up would be called Overhill, right. Rolling 60s. Now they've taken that area and incorporated into the 60 hood. But I just knew the right guys. Like if you're a shot caller, you're a big guy. If you're a shot caller, say you're 8-Tray gangster, and you like me, that's all I need. I don't need to be in the set. I don't need to be put on. All I need is that respect. Sure. So they like, okay, Ice is cool. We like Ice. He's not a gangbanger. Sometimes it's better not to be a gangbanger. And one thing about Los Angeles is once you join a gang, you become enemies with people you never met because that gang has beef. So by not being in a gang, I was able to move around LA the rest of my life pretty seamlessly. You know, I never had problems because if I was in a Blood neighborhood, I'm not a Crip. So, you know, and people don't understand the gangs are looking for the enemies. They're not looking for civilians. They're looking for the enemy. Right. So if somebody banged on me, like my boy, my artist in there, he's from PJ Watts. Notice I say from because he lives in the Imperial Courts projects. That's a gang. Now he could be in Imperial Courts and not be part of the gang, but if he got put on, he's a PJ Watts Crip, you know. So me, myself, I just learned how to, as I say, navigate Los Angeles and not get into any drama, you know. It turned out to be the smartest move for me because as I became a rapper, it didn't really pay to be affiliated with a particular gang because once again, it might turn half the city against you.
Well, you would have that foresight at that age, right? To maybe not want to go down one of those paths versus like, I mean, I imagine drugs were very rampant too, right? Crack era?
I'm prior to the crack era. When I was in high school, it was more actually angel dust.
Okay.
It was PCP. Yeah, Sherm.
Wow.
That whole scene was really cracking. And when I was in the 12th grade, we started selling a little weed, you know, but the harder drug at that time was PCP. And I'm old enough that cocaine was very fashionable. Mm-hmm. This was before crack.
Harder to get though, right?
Harder to get, more expensive. It was the affluent drug.
Designer.
Yes. If you had coke, you would fly. Because it was expensive.
Sure.
So it wasn't that deep in the hood. Only the players and the ballers was doing cocaine. They wasn't smoking it yet.
Right.
And I remember when they started to smoke it, they started to ether base it early before they actually figured out how to use baking soda and crack it or rock it up. So I was there at the brink of all that.
This segment of the Pull Podcast is brought to you by Heartwood Home Detox.
Really, in my high school days, it wasn't heavy drug addiction.
Okay.
It really wasn't. Because to me, honestly, the wave of drug and heavy drug addiction happened with the wave of crack cocaine. Well, really, PCP was the first. In LA, they called it butt naked. It made people take their clothes off.
I was going to say, when you look at people that are on it, it doesn't seem like something that's fun.
Sherm was the first wave of heads, like Sherm. You know, you call them crackheads. Right. It was Sherm heads.
Yeah.
And Sherm is a way they would smoke PCP, put it into a cigarette. It was a brown cigarette that was already called a Sherman. And it would make motherfuckers go crazy.
Go crazy, literally.
Yeah, literally. Yeah. So those were the drugs that were in my childhood, in my adolescence.
Yeah. Fascinating. So even to stay away from all of that stuff though, right? I mean, like at this point, like, did you know inherently, like where do you think that came from? The fact that you weren't getting involved in any of that stuff?
Being an orphan.
Okay.
Being an orphan. I always looked at people high and I never thought it was attractive.
Okay.
You know, you could be the big homie and I respect you, but I'm watching you high and I'm watching you sloppy and I'm like, you giving somebody your back, so to speak. You counting on us to get you home right now.
You're compromised.
You're compromised. Now, me not having a brother, sister, or anybody, I felt if I hit the ground, it was nobody's job to pick me up. There's no one, I don't have anybody even to look for me,
Sure.
So it just wasn't attractive watching women get high and watching guys get high, sloppy high. I seen people smoke weed. That didn't really affect me, but harder drugs, it was just not fly to me.
Right.
So for me, I just said, you know what? I'm going to stay sober. I never smoked cigarettes, so I never smoked weed. And I had gotten drunk once when I was in high school. We went to a party, and I don't know if I ever told this story, but went to a party. My buddy was having a party. So me and my other friend named Frenzel, we decided we were going to get some liquor. So we got somebody to buy some liquor. So we had 2 bottles. We had like some Night Train and Diamond Red. And when we got to the party, they made a punch bowl and everybody was pouring all their liquor in. So this was like a napalm bomb punch of everyone's.
Jungle juice before jungle juice.
Yeah. But me, I decide, well, I got 2 bottles. I'm drinking mine. And then in other words, I was trying to, I'm not giving them all my liquor. I'm gonna try to kill one of these bottles by myself. Next thing I know, I was some way laid up behind the garage, out of it. And I heard somebody goes, "There he is."
And you just in the corner throwing up?
Not yet, not throwing
But you were
up.
lost.
I was like, yo, because I had never drank and I didn't really know what was going to happen.
Sure.
And it just took me totally out. I could hear the music, but I was over there just incapacitated. So my boys picked me up. I'm still in high school. So that night I ended up going back to my friend's house. I didn't even go home. I was so drunk. I slept on the side, he had a bed. I slept on the floor on the side. The next day we got up and went to school. My aunt was like, "Where the hell are you?" I'm at school. What are you talking about? Where were you last night? I don't know what you're talking about.
Right.
I tried to make her think she was crazy. She knows I wasn't home.
And you had the mouthpiece to do it too.
Oh my God. But so anyway, I was like, okay. But yeah, that was my experience with alcohol. And that day I said, yo, this is not for me. I'm gonna chill out. So now I'll drink socially. Let's see, people say, well, you straight edge. I'll drink socially, meaning if I'm out, y'all got some champagne, I'll sip the champagne. I might, Coco got a little cranberry and vodka, I'll sip it. But I don't want to become inebriated. I don't like when
you don't like feeling out of control.
Period.
Yeah.
Period. So I don't drink when I'm at home. I don't have beers and shit like that. I don't do that. But if I'm out, I'm not afraid. If people start smoking weed around me, I don't have to leave the room.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's just a choice.
Sure.
And growing up, as my life started to become more gangster and dealing with more dangerous individuals, I always paid attention to the sober guy in the room. People over here smoking and drinking, but there was always a dude in the corner just watching everybody. That's the dude to watch.
Yeah.
He's on point. So your security doesn't get high. Your shooter, whoever you got, his job is to stay on point. But me, I said, that's got to be me.
Yeah.
That's got to be me.
Because you didn't have anybody else.
No. And then as I started to gain a crew, I became the guy. Mm-hmm. So everybody's like, Ice don't get high. I was like the designated driver.
Sure.
I remember one time back in the day, I was a situation. I was in the hood, and one of the big homies was like, "Yo, man, hit the joint." I said, "I don't want to hit the joint." "Yo, you a bitch if you don't hit the joint." I'm like, "Well, if I'm a bitch, make me hit it."
Turn the table on them.
Why you tripping?
Right.
So then at that point, the word got out. So now the big homie's like, Ice don't get high. Mm-hmm. So now he couldn't get me high, so you ain't getting me high. So it started to become cool. Everybody knew, well, Ice is always going to be sober. If we got to deal with the police, he's the one to do the talking. If shit pops off, he's grabbing everybody, making sure we all get out of there. So it put me in a leadership position.
Well, I'm sure we'll get into a lot of the stuff later, but it seems like you always took your own road. You were a trendsetter in a lot of ways and a lot of stuff you did.
I had to be. I think when you start off with no relatives and no family, you learn very quickly that you're on your own. Mm-hmm. and you gain. I heard this, but 70-80% of billionaires are orphans. So
Interesting.
yes, self-made billionaires. So it's one thing to have a family, but it's another thing not to have anything to fall back on.
Well, you're your own backup plan, right?
Gotta be.
Yeah, and you move differently.
Yeah, and I've sold all my stuff. I've been to the pawn shop so much, I broke myself, but you start to not want to ever ask for anything, and then you get around a lot of people and they like to ask, and you ask yourself, how do you do that? I don't know how to ask for things. I just know how to get things. So, I'll put on a ski mask and a starter pistol before I ask for money. I'll go get it. So it's funny because a lot of times I meet people and they're like, well, I'm fucked up. I don't know how to get no money. I'm like, how about crime? I mean, that's what I used to do.
Sure.
Oh, I don't want to do that. Okay, well, then you're not me, because I will go there if that's what it took.
Yeah, if your back's against the wall.
If I had to feed my kid, everybody look out, lock your doors.
if Law and Order doesn't have a next episode, right?
Well, you know what? I've put myself in a position where that will never happen.
Of course, that
will never happen at this point. But a lot of my hustling to be legit was based on not having to go back there and not having to flip that switch. Everything I did was never out of greed. It was out of survival. So maybe God gave me a pass.
I think so. I actually do. I believe God uses all of us in some way, shape, or form to some, everybody's an instrument, right? A vessel.
In some way.
And it sounds like, because if you were at a school where there's drugs and there's gangs and neither of those things were for you, you started rapping at that point, no?
Well, first thing that happened was I got my girlfriend pregnant.
Oh, boy.
I told my aunt, I said, look, I can't live here with you. This is not a good place for me. I want to leave. She said, well, you're getting $250 a month Social Security from your father passing. You can't live off that. I said, yes, I can. So I said, give me the check, sign the checks over. So she gave me the check. I found an apartment in the hood for $100 a month. I took it to the manager and I said, look, I get this check every month. I'll have it come to you. You give me the other $150 back. So that's a guaranteed rent. Mm-hmm. At 17, 18 years old, he was like, cool. So by having my own apartment that early, of course, my girl got pregnant because now I got a situation,
yep. And the kick it spot, right?
Yeah, kick it spot. And I really didn't know a girl could get pregnant that quick, but that's another story. So next thing you know, I'm like with my boys, we're doing petty crime. We're selling a little weed, trying to flip that $150 so we could live. And I would take $100 and buy food, and the other $50 I would have in my pocket, and I had to flip that and do whatever with it. Then I decided I need to go in the Army because I got to be responsible. This baby's coming. So I did 4 years in the military.
Thank you for your service.
Yeah. And when I came home, my idea was to run parties like Uncle Jam's Army and throw jams.
Yeah.
But I had picked up rap in the Army from New York cats I was training with. And so I came home and I started to rap, and I connected with these guys called the New York City Spin Masters, Evil E and Hen G, who were doing parties in LA. And nice. I finally got my name on the flyer, and that's when the rapping started.
Let me ask you this. When did the moniker Ice-T come out? When did you get your name, and how did you get it?
I got that in high school.
Okay. People just thought you were cool, so they call you Ice?
No, I was quoting Iceberg Slim.
Ooh.
I was reading Iceberg Slim books because the cats that I started to look up to, not the gang members, but the players.
Right.
The cats in the school that were shooting dice and dressing nice and had the perms, and the fly guys would always carry these books by Donald Goins and Iceberg Slim. So I said, I need to know what those books are. Mm-hmm. I started to read them, and eventually I could quote Iceberg Slim. So people used to say some more of that ice stuff, T.
It is slick. Oh, I got you.
So my first name is Tracy, but that don't work growing up in the hood because when you meet a guy say Tracy, that's a bitch name.
Yeah.
So now I got to catch a fade with a dude I just met.
Because he called you the wrong.
Yeah, call me a bitch.
Yeah.
So now they started to change that to Trey. Crazy Trey. Like a lot of cats named Tracy call themselves Trey, like Trey D from the East Siders.
Yep.
Yeah, he's Tracy too.
Yep.
But Trey sounds more gangster than Tracy, right?
It sure does.
So we that was that. And then it started to become Ice T. Like Ice, say some more Ice stuff T. And so Ice is short for iceberg. But then when I start rapping, Ice T rings. So you need a name that is musical.
Sure.
So that's what happened.
Do you think that that's where Ice Cube, does he give you credit for his name?
Quite possibly. I mean, I don't know where Ice Cube got his name from, but I know that Ice Cube, before he started rapping, used to come to our shows.
Sure.
And Ice Cube has always been a really close, good friend of mine. I don't know if he ever I don't know, maybe he liked.
That never came up, huh?
No, it never came up, but that's my brother. So I mean, I wouldn't mind him being connected to me, considering he's one of the greatest that ever did it.
No doubt. No doubt. So you're out of the Army at this point and you're back in Los Angeles?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So my idea is to do this music, but at the same time, not connect back with my crew. And at that time, they're robbing jewelry stores, credit unions, banks, drops, everything. They're in full effect. And my military experience kind of added to the clique. Mm-hmm. So we got pretty active. I just had a book I just released called Split Decision with Spike, one of my crimies, who it tells you all the capers and things we did prior to anyone ever hearing of Ice-T. And that's happening simultaneously while I'm doing these rap shows. So I'm showing up at the rap shows with the jewelry on and everything. It looked like I was successful. I hadn't sold one record.
Right.
But there was a point as I started selling records after the movie Breaking and things like that happened, that I understood that infamy and fame are two different things. Now, you know, when you're in the street, nobody knows you. You disappear. You're little this, or you Ice-T or Trey. No one knows. Cops don't know who that is.
Right.
But now you're famous. You're on flyers. People are starting to ask you questions. Well, how'd you get that Porsche? How'd you get this? How'd you get that? So I made a decision that I was going to leave that behind. Mm-hmm. I told the homies, I said, I can't break the law anymore. I'm done. I never got caught. And I said, count your blessings. I'm going to do this.
Yeah, good for you.
And one of my boys wanted to do the same thing. He wanted to rap with me, but he had to go. A lot of criminals are like, I just need a war chest. I need a certain amount of money and then I could stop. You know, that's just the criminal way of thinking.
I get it, though. And then, but usually once they get there, it's another number above it, right?
Or they never get
there.
And he went on, sent a couple of people on 2 different robberies. And during the course of one, someone got killed. And they gave him the murder because he was the mastermind. And he ended up with a 26 to life sentence. He just came home. He did the 26 years. But we wrote a book together called Split Decision. That's
amazing. For the listeners out there, go pick that up, right?
Yeah, it's on Amazon.
I'm looking forward to reading it.
If you really want to dig into pre-Ice-T, like before you ever heard of me. And it's interesting because it's like in the book, we co-wrote it. So like one side of it, you hear me getting off the red carpet from New Jack City, and he's getting off the bus to Folsom. So 2 different lives.
Totally.
With one decision.
Yeah. This segment of the Pull Podcast is brought to you by Creekside Recovery. You're familiar with the fentanyl epidemic that's going on in the country, obviously, right? And it sounds like you have somebody close to your family that's maybe struggled with something, maybe not that, but something as well.
No, I've dealt with all kinds of addictions really close to me. Like my guitar player, Ernie C. from Body Count, he dealt with alcohol and heavy to the point where he kind of bought into the rock and roll thing of being high. Like that's an old rock and roll adage because now the new rockers are pretty straight edge.
Yeah.
You know,
but it was a lifestyle at one point.
Right. So he's hanging around with Duff and all the cats from Guns N' Roses. And I guess he felt that was the rock lifestyle and it caught him. And, you know, I had to separate myself from him for a couple of years where I said, Ernie, I can't be cool with you if you're doing this to yourself.
Yeah.
And I left him, but I had another homie watch him, like
Sure.
keep an eye on him.
Yeah.
But he can't. Sometimes you can't hit bottom when you got a friend like me because you always got somebody to go to. So the bottom has to be me leaving you too.
Yeah.
And he got himself together. I think he's been clean now, maybe 15 years.
That's incredible.
He got himself together, and I had another friend, one of my rap partners who works with me, Mark Live. He went through alcoholism. He went to rehab maybe 3 or 4 times. And then finally he just got himself together, because we know that this is, it's like monogamy. Monogamy is self-imposed. If you don't want to go out on your chick, you won't. If you do, there's no amount of GPS devices or stalking that's going to keep you from getting that in. If that's what you're intending to do.
Yeah.
So with drugs or alcohol, if it's not in you, all the rehab in the world is not going to help. So just recently, my son went through it. He went through opioid addiction, which started with a toothache.
It's so fascinating. This is all the stories these days, right? Injuries or toothache or some sort of operation.
He started doing oxy, and it was different because he lived in LA and I lived in Jersey, and his behavior started to become different and stuff. And Coco was like, Ice is getting high. And, me being a father, I just want to deny it, of course. Now, also at the time, kids had gotten into syrup, which is promethazine, lean and all that. So this is part of it. Plus, they smoking weed. So I'm trying to say, oh, he's smoking weed, this, that, and the other. She said, no, something else is going on. His behavior is becoming strange and this, that, and the third. Well, finally, he confessed to his sister. But she didn't tell me. And, we were just putting the pressure on him, and finally he just came clean. And so, fortunately, I had the means to put him in a rehab. He went to one of the best rehabs out in Malibu, blah, blah, blah. And in 1 month, they got his act together, because we kind of I kind of told Ice, I said, look, man, people are, first you're embarrassed. You're embarrassed. Like, everybody's going to look at me like this. That. But I'm like, nobody can judge you. No one can judge you. And it's funny, like my buddy Mark, when he was going through it, he was like, everybody's mad at me. And I said, Mark, what are they mad at you for? What did you do to Trevor? What did you do to Keith? Nothing. I said, they're mad at you for what you're doing to yourself.
Continually.
Yeah. They're pissed at you. You have not done anything to anybody. You do it to yourself, and people get fucking fed up with that shit. You don't deserve it. So same thing I told Ice. I'm like, nobody's gonna be mad at you. People are rooting for you because everybody. See, this one thing I learned, and this has had nothing to do with drugs and nothing. Every single person on earth is dealing with some type of shit. Every single person. Every guy you pass on the street got a problem.
Yep.
Something. It could be his wife. It could be his kids. It could be his money. It could be nobody is walking around here without any problems. You can look at me and go, oh, Ice, you seem like you got it together. I got shit going on. I got things, problems, different issues. It may be taxes. It could be a contractor. It could be a friend that's unhappy and is driving me crazy. There's always something. Like I always say, my life is great until I pick up the phone.
My life is great until I look at the phone.
Yeah, right. Because somebody on the other end is dealing with shit. And if you love people, you would love for you, not only you, but everybody you know to be happy.
Yeah.
Never going to happen.
Not going to happen.
Never going to happen.
Not on one day, not on,
maybe one day.
Maybe one day, but not all at once, right? There's always going to be that one person.
Exactly. But I learned that stress is caused by giving a shit.
Wow.
So somebody
say that again.
Stress is caused by giving a fuck. It's like you think about it. If somebody got a lot of problems and you don't give a fuck about them, it does not bother you.
Yeah, you're not stressed.
But if it's someone you care about, then it it leaks into you.
Right, right.
So yeah, sometimes you start to stress. You're like, you know what? I just really give too much of a fuck about this, and it's not even my issue.
I've never heard it put that way.
Think about it.
Yeah, it's true. It's absolutely true.
Yeah. So anyway, my son, he went through his thing, and he came out the other side.
I'm glad.
And he's dealing with it, you know, whatever it was. I think he also he was going through a bad relationship with a chick who was working his brain, you know. It's cold, you know. I heard some wealthy man say the biggest choice you'll ever make is your life partner.
100%.
And some people really out to really make you feel inadequate and you can't make. They're really made to bring you down, to keep you in their little zone, because they know if you blow up, you probably leave them.
Yeah.
You know, so he had to shake that monkey too, you know, off his back. So now he's in a good place. He's out on the road with us.
Feeling good.
Feeling good. Just said, Dad, I'm never, ever going back to that place. I'm like, you bigger than that, dude.
Yeah.
You bigger than that. You know, if you was a loser, if we knew you were a loser, we just let you lose.
Right.
Go ahead. You belong in the losers column. What I've found out about addiction or just anything is when people get into that zone, their friends tell them what they need to hear, but they don't want to hear it. So they turn on their friends.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck you. You ain't saying what I want to hear. The people that want to enable them, the other people getting high with them are saying what they want to hear. So they hang out with them and they start to go down this rabbit hole. So I told Ice, I said, you were just hanging with wrong people going down that road. So he was talking about one of his uncles, Ben Baller, the jeweler in LA, grew up with us, like one of Ice's aunts. He said, man, Ben was pissed at me. And I said, yeah, Ben saw you were fucking up. I said, go back to Ben now.
Right.
And tell him where you're at. I bet he hugs you.
Yeah.
I bet he hugs you. He ain't mad. He's not mad at you.
People are only pissed if you continue the behavior. You know?
That's what they're pissed at.
They're tired of watching somebody die in front of them, you know, slowly die, right? It's like the longest version of suicide.
That's what they're mad at. So you got to get past that. And you got to look at all the people along the way that maybe you didn't think was saying what was right, but they were saying what was right.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the people that loved you. Anybody that's like, hey, man, go ahead, do it. Date it. It's funny, Guru from Gangstar, who passed away of natural causes, but he told me one day, he said, man, yo, Ice, I stopped smoking weed, and I realized I didn't like any of my friends. I said, because you were buying it.
And it was his buffer, right? It was his buffer to probably some people that, you know, either weren't interesting or who knows.
Or he was the one always buying the weed. So
too.
So once you stop buying it, you ain't smoking today. All right.
Everybody's mad at him.
Yeah. So I was like, that's dope. So you finally can see clearly.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad your son is on the other side of it, because we were going back to that whole one decision, right? How about your book and the fact that, you know, your boy went down the wrong path for one night and then caught 26 years, right? Changed the whole trajectory of a human life, which, you know, we were talking prior to this, and we were talking about how time is like the greatest asset we have on earth. Right?
Yeah,
the most precious asset.
I said everybody might know how much money they have, but no one knows how much time they have. So you have to really, and I was telling my partner, Fetty, my artist in there the other day, I said, we're all the same age. You're either alive or you're not. A 15-year-old, it doesn't mean they'll outlive me. It doesn't mean anyone, you know, I was with my partner last night. He's 80 years old, looking better than some 40-year-old cats.
Sure.
So life, anything could happen at any moment.
In recovery, we say we only have 24 hours.
Right.
Right. And we all have the same 24 hours. If you woke up this morning, we all just have 24 hours, right?
I believe that. And I also believe that everything behind you doesn't matter. I believe that from this moment forward is your life. That is past. It's not coming back. Whatever it was, I don't care what it is, but this moment forward is your life. And you have every moment to change whatever.
Yeah.
But my mother used to say, you keep using the same recipe, you'll keep baking the same cake.
I love that.
So if your life isn't what you want, you have to change the recipe.
100%.
or you'll continue with the same cake.
And the present is all we really have. And that's why it's a gift. That's why they call it the present.
But it's really this split second. Like this split second, I could walk out of here and fall down these steps and break my neck. It's not, it's just now.
Yeah.
It's just now. But I think once you understand that what's behind you does not dictate what's in front of you, and you're willing to change the recipe, then you could pretty much do everything. And even now, people look at me, oh, Ice, you got it together. But I'm still trying to tighten up my recipe.
I love that.
Still.
It's never complete, right? You're still trying to perfect that cake.
Still, every day. And a lot of things, I found out a lot of things, it's just being lazy. It's just being lazy. You're just lazy. You don't need the gym. A push-up is right there. It's like, 10 inches away from you. Yeah. But you just don't want to do it.
It's because you don't want to do it. Growth only happens in the uncomfortable, right?
Yes, and money's only made in the uncomfortable.
Whoo. Never heard that one.
You ever said, well, show me a way I can make it while I luxuriate. I haven't figured that out. And I say all the money and fame's paid for in stress. You know, there's a trade-off for it. And if you can't live in stress, then there's certain places you can't be. Especially the public eye. You have to get used to people talking shit and hating.
I can't even imagine it. Let's talk about haters, right? Because I believe that you coined the phrase, don't hate the player, hate the game.
Yeah, I got it from a player in Vegas.
Your humility is fascinating to me. You're so cool about not taking credit for shit that you didn't do.
Now, I was actually in Vegas one time, and so this pimp cat was seeing me. He said, yeah, man, I know your man MC. I was stuck up in the high desert with him, you know. And I said, and he was talking some player shit. Then he came out with some cocaine. He said, you blow? And I was like, nah,
no.
Cool. Nah, I don't. He goes, okay, hey, Mo, for me, man. Hey, don't play the player, man. Hate the game, Jack. And I said, oh, that's fly, you know. So I don't know if he made it up, but I took it and made a record.
Are you or someone you love struggling with addiction? Align Recovery Centers provides a holistic approach offering comfort and care to focus your mind, body, and soul. The journey to lasting sobriety begins in Sonoma at Align Recovery Centers. Make the call today.
The game is continuous, and it's there's a dirty game, there's a clean game, there's a lot of things out there, and you just have to be aware of that. Everybody is trying to survive, man.
Absolutely.
And you might run into somebody who's playing the game dirty.
Yeah. But going back, talking about being in the limelight, you were talking about what that brings with it, right? If you can't be in that uncomfortable, this is not.
No, it's not for you.
No.
I think one thing with haters, though, is that me personally, I've been in the game so long, I'm kind of insulated with my lovers. I'm insulated with my fans that really fuck with me. And by now, after 40 years in the game, even if they try to put something on me, my fans are like, nah. Yeah. That ain't Ice. We know Ice. We've been around Ice. But then at the same time, I can't do nothing stupid. Because see, when you have fans and you got people that fuck with you, and I got millions of people that fuck with me, when I win, they win. You feel me? When I win, when you hear another victory, Ice got a star on Hollywood Boulevard, you like, that's my man.
That was last year. Congratulations.
Right. That's my man, right? When I fuck up, it hurts you. Oh, man, Ice got caught. He got a DUI or some shit. You know, whatever it is, your fans take that hit with you. So you got to be aware of that. Now, your haters just hate. They don't like you. And I always say they don't like what it is. They don't like that it's you.
Right.
That's what they don't like. They don't like the situation. They just don't like it happened to you.
And not them.
Yeah. So, you know, they're just pissed, like, and they're waiting. I think Run DMC had the line, that's not all MCs have the gall to lay and pray for my downfall. So there's people that are just waiting for me to get in some shit or waiting for me and my wife to break up. They just hate you. Yeah. Because in a way, they're holding their light to your light, and they don't think their light will ever be on your level. So they want to diminish
bring you down. Yeah.
Your light. Yeah. So there's no reference point, you know. Now, that's some weak shit. I've learned that positive energy it's better for you and everybody else. Wish everybody well. I don't want to see nobody do bad. I don't, and there's people I disagree with. I just, and there's some real fucking assholes out here that are pieces of shit. But for some reason, some people don't like me. Maybe something I said, maybe something I done. And I can't help that. But there's people that love me for the same thing that bothers you. So I found out in life, the trick is you have to rock with the people that are rocking with you. There's nobody ever that have walked this earth that had 100%.
No.
They killed Jesus.
You can't please everybody.
People hated Michael Jackson. I don't care. There's somebody dislikes you. And also the hater, if I walked into a barber shop and I say, I love Allen Iverson, and everybody says, I love him, there's going to be one guy that's going to be like, fuck him.
Fuck him.
Right, just to be.
Yeah, the contrarian. The contrarian, right? You got to be against the grain, right? There's always that person that needs it's probably begging for that spotlight, right? I got to be different.
Yeah, that's weak.
That's weak as fuck.
That's weak. I mean, I just learned, my job is not to make anybody happy, just live my life the most righteous way I can. And those people who like my moves, those are the people I want on my side.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go out of my way. You know what they say, there's no way to make people like you, but there's one way to lose everybody is to try to make everyone like you.
Yeah, because you end up being something you're not. And ultimately, at the end of the day, if you're just being authentic, then, just let the chips fall where they may, right?
Yeah, you just got to like yourself and how you are about things. And I could take criticism, but I never take criticism from anybody I wouldn't take advice from. Mm-hmm. So first, I got to respect you enough that your criticism means something to me. So if I would take advice from you, I'm like, okay, well, what else? Tell me something I'm doing wrong or something. And I'll be like, okay, I feel that. But just Joe Blow on the street, I always say, if I paid attention to you, I'd be in your position. So
that's fire.
I'm not paying, but there are a lot of people, like I got close friends I take advice from because I respect them.
Yeah. Yeah, I heard a good saying the other day that's along those lines, which is, I would never take constructive criticism from somebody that's never constructed anything. Right? Like, that's like just a form of hatred. That's what it is, right?
It's so easy to tell somebody. It's so easy to be a critic, But to be able to build somebody up, that takes skill.
It does.
But to criticize is simple. I didn't like the show. It was whack. Just break it down. Well, tell me how to make it better. Mm-hmm. Let's concentrate on that. I remember I worked with Jello Biafra. I just saw him the other night, and he says, before you complain about anything, think of ways that you can make it better, so that when you make your complaint, you can now counter it with a solution.
Yeah. Otherwise, you do just seem like a hater.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. But if you say it might look better if you did this, then like that means you put a little thought into it, and maybe I'll take a look at it.
Yeah.
But again, why would I take advice from somebody? I might be on your level then.
Well, also you have to understand who you're criticizing, and you have to understand the way they move, and my brand and how I am. Now they call it a brand. Really, I call it my personality, like who I am. So people already know Ice-T is like this. Yeah. This is who he is. Yeah. And they don't want you to change. You don't want Ozzy to change. You don't want George Clinton to change. You don't want certain people to change. That's who they are.
Yeah. Yeah. It's what makes them great. It's what makes, whether you like them or not, that's fine. You can just choose to listen to them or not, right? Or choose to fuck with them or not.
Most people don't like you and they don't even know why.
Well, it's usually something within them, right?
They don't even know why.
About themselves.
Like people are probably watching this interview and like, well, I didn't even know I liked Ice. Now the hater, as soon as I popped up, turned me off. He don't fuck him. There's something about me he don't like. But some people might have been on the fence, and then they watch this and they go, oh, I assumed he was like this, or I felt he was like that. Mm-hmm. So they have a misconception of you to begin with.
No, of course. And it's fine, because this podcast isn't for them, right?
Exactly.
and whatever you're doing in life is not for them.
Exactly.
At what point did you start? Obviously you got the big break in New Jack City. At what point did you decide that you wanted to go further into acting?
Well, acting is an interesting thing. If you act and the movie makes money, you'll be in more movies. So when I was in Breaking, I was called featured rap talker, and I didn't really have lines, so I was just background blah 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 rapper. When I got New Jack City, that was my first time acting. I was nervous as hell, but the movie did well. The movie made like $80 million or something. I made $26,000. I got paid scale. But right after that, I got another call to do, I think it was Surviving the Game and Johnny Mnemonic and Trespass and all these movies start, Tank Girl, all these different movies, because they're betting on your power. Like, okay, you do this movie, the movie was successful. If you come out and you think you're an actor and your first couple movies suck, you may never do another movie.
You may never break out. Yeah.
Or that's not gonna, because it's like a basketball team. Like they need 5 on the floor. They need people that can play. So they're gonna cast people that have a draw that can make. So when I did New Jack City, they were saying, well, damn, they sold millions of records. Maybe this will translate into people in the seats.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Fortunately, well, Wesley had only done a couple movies. He did a Spike Lee joint and he did a Major League. Christopher Williams hadn't been in movies. Chris Rock hadn't been in movies. So they were betting on our other celebrity isms to bring people to the theater.
But that's a powerful starting 5 right there.
But the movie was dope.
Yeah.
As an actor, you're at the mercy of the script. You could be the greatest actor. They gave you a suck-ass story. It's going to suck. We don't make up the words. The writers make up the words.
Sure.
So you're at the mercy of this script. You can put your flavor on it, but if it's a bad story, a weak concept, you've seen movies with great actors that sucked, but it wasn't the actors, it was the story.
Yeah.
It's the story. People don't look at it like that, but it's those words those actors said were written by somebody.
So would you say you were picky with the roles that you chose?
No, I just was happy to get them. Being a rapper, now I'm getting acting roles, and it was cool for me. I never thought that would become my mainstay, being an actor, because when I started acting, Will Smith hadn't acted yet, Pac hadn't acted yet. I was like one of the very first rappers to have lines. And to have your first movie become like a cult hit doesn't happen.
Yeah.
So you said the word humility. I think that's my stay power, is humility, is just knowing that you're lucky that people like you.
Yeah.
When you make a record, you think it's dope, but your friends want it free. Your friends want to get in the concert for free. You're selling to strangers. Now, is what you think is dope, is it dope? Well, you don't know. You have to put it out there. Yeah. So you're just fortunate. You can't make people like you. So when you go on the screen and I'm on New York Undercover, or I'm on Law and Order, and I'm doing my thing, for some reason, human beings like me. And they like my acting. There's actors out there that can rack circles around me, but maybe they don't connect to the audience the same way.
Sure.
So it's an intangible in this show business game.
I agree with that.
And
I could see that.
You're fucking lucky.
Yeah.
Brad Pitt is Brad Pitt. That just happens to be who the fuck he is, right? He can't change that. And people like him.
They do. He's sober now.
Right. But that's not him acting. That's him being Brad Pitt. All great actors are playing themselves.
Sure. Hopefully.
No, they are. When you watch De Niro, I don't give a fuck what he plays. He's De Niro. When we watch Pacino, he's Pacino. When you watch everybody, even Daniel Day-Lewis, no matter who he plays, he's still Daniel Day-Lewis. You feel that part of him come through the character. So that little thing that you feel when you watch these actors, Jack Nicholson, no matter what he plays, it's Jack Nicholson in there. That's the money. That's the star power. I just watched Denzel and Gladiator. It's motherfucking Denzel.
But the movie was terrible.
But Denzel
was awesome.
But he's still Denzel from Training Day. He's Denzel. He just got on a motherfucking Roman shit.
Yeah.
So whatever character I play, if you book me as a school teacher, you're going to get an Ice-T-ish school teacher.
I would say authenticity then, right?
I don't know what it is.
Because I feel like any actor that maybe can't be authentic, it wouldn't come through, and therefore maybe they wouldn't be as good at their craft.
I don't know what it is. I'm a big Johnny Depp fan. I don't know what it is. When I see Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, I'm like, yo, this motherfucker's crazy. Benicio del Toro's another. Mm-hmm. But when you watch them, you're watching them play a character in it. And some people got it and some people don't.
Agreed.
That's just it. And if you're fortunate enough to have it, don't act like you're special.
So other actors, did you know Danny Trejo?
Yes. I still know Danny Trejo.
Okay, of course.
Danny's still alive.
Yeah, no, I mean, he does so much for the community, especially the recovery community. So I was just curious if you...
I met him.
Yeah.
He's a real one.
A real one, right?
But Danny's got out of prison, and acting is just adult make-believe, really. And if you really want to do it and you want to learn how to do it, and I think the hardest thing about acting is really just losing yourself and just being willing to be this character and not holding on to, well, this is not cool and I don't look this way, or this, just let it go.
You mean like playing a cop?
Well, playing a cop, to me, I played a cop in New Jack City. That was the most difficult for me because I was putting out an album called Original Gangster and playing a cop. So I was like, damn, this is career suicide. Mm-hmm. Audience got it. The audience is like, he's acting.
Yeah, they know it's not you.
Yeah, they know. But, I'm not a cop killer neither. That's acting too. I'm playing a role in a song. I ain't killed no cops.
Right.
So a lot of music is acting. The R&B singer says, baby, I miss you. The next song is I love you. The next song is it's better since you're gone. The next song is I'll die if I'm not with my... These are all different emotions. How can one person have them?
Yeah.
So you're going through different scenarios in your head. So anyway, playing a cop is just like playing a gangster. Exactly. You play a cop, I'll play the gangster. You got a gun, you got a badge. You want some answers?
It's the same attitude.
And if I don't get the answer, there'll be a consequence. And I'm not scared of you, and you ain't scared of me. It's the same exact. So when you play a cop, you have no fear. You have power. You have authority, and you will kill a motherfucker. Same with a gangster. So whenever you see me do interrogations on Law and Order, I might not be thinking like I'm the police. I'm thinking like this motherfucker has some information I need, and I will jump over this table, right?
To get it. And that's the mindset. So I've been in that mindset in real life, and I can use that. That might be a difficult mindset for somebody who's never been there. So having a little backstory and having a little experience helps, depending on the roles. I've always played heavies, Now, but I'm a funny motherfucker, so I could play a comedy too. So I'm just in awe, just how cool and down to earth you are. Right? Like, I don't know. I was super nervous before this thing even started. And then you walk in and you're just like, what are the guys? You know what I mean? Like, so.
I don't get that. I mean, I just don't really get that over importance of shit. I tell you what, though, I felt that everybody I've ever met that was successful was cool. Everybody that was made, when you finally make it and you have nothing to prove, they're cool. Mm-hmm. I think people on the come up are very conscious of everything because they're trying to build an image. I don't have an image to build. You got my image. Snoop Dogg does not have an image to build. You got it. It's there. Right. So when you're new, you're forging that image and you're very conscious of yourself and everything you say. But then people that come in with too much posse, too much shit, it's corny to me.
I love that.
In the quiet hills of Marin County, there's a place where healing begins. A place where alcohol or drugs no longer control your life. At Live Oaks Wellness, we offer compassionate, client-centered care for those struggling with addiction. Our licensed drug and alcohol detox and residential programs are designed to help you take the first step toward recovery with a team that truly understands the journey. You don't have to walk this path alone. At Live Oaks, we're here to help you rebuild, restore, and reclaim your life. Take the first step today. Live Oaks Wellness. Healing starts here.
what would you want your legacy to be in all of this? Like, I mean, you've had this great career. Is retirement on the brink or no?
You don't retire from art.
No, I agree with that. I just mean, in terms of maybe you and Coco want to like go travel more than you probably already have.
No, you don't retire from art. You retire from hard-working jobs and stuff like that, but artists never retire because art is you. So, people that paint will paint till they die.
Mm-hmm.
Miles Davis would play till he died. You just don't quit this. It's a dream situation. You could slow it up. You could change your workload. But I feel like if I slow up my workload, I'll die. I'm so used to this constant movement that I don't even vacation well. I could do maybe a week.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'm like, I gotta. And even if I'm doing a week, I'm writing rhymes, I'm writing stuff, because an artist's mind, see, people are usually academically inclined, athletically inclined, or artistically inclined, right?
Yeah.
Athletes, they're fucking freaks. I'm friends with Darrell Reeves. He can run backwards faster than we can run forward. These people are freaks, okay. Academics, there's people making this atom thing that shoot, what's this thing that the big circle that they shoot?
The Hadron Collider?
Who the fuck?
Yeah.
Where do you get parts for that shit?
Yeah, I don't know.
Right? But that's an academic. They feel comfortable in that world. Silicon Valley. People say, I can run an iPad. I'm like, yeah, but can you make the chip? There's some people that are on another channel that they think on those terms, those super academics.
Right.
Then you have artists, people that like to create, people that like to draw, people that like to do music and art. I mean, we're in Frisco. This is a big art community.
Big art.
But you never quit it. How do you quit art?
No, I just mean like, I guess, I don't know. I went in for the legacy question, I suppose. And really what I was trying to figure out was like, what are you looking forward to doing in your life still, aside from still creating?
No, my thing right now is really my daughter. I have a 9-year-old daughter, and it's the newest, most important thing in my life. My kids are grown. My son's in his 30s. My daughter's in 40s.
Mm-hmm.
Watching her, they say when a man has a child in the second half of his life after 50, it resets his life. Like, I didn't need another gold record. I didn't need another car. I don't need another house. I don't need anything. Watching this little girl, it's the most exciting shit in the world to me, watching her go to Kung Fu, watching her do her thing. So that really excites me. I'll always come up with something artistically to do, but I'm really nitpicking it. I'm not like doing everything everybody else wants me to do.
Right.
I'm doing things that I really want to do. And they might be fun, and they don't necessarily need to generate money because I got a little money, so I'm cool. So it's just like, Chuck D said at this point, Ice, if you're not having fun, you shouldn't be doing it.
I love that.
So I'm having fun. I don't like waking up as early in the morning. The thing with Law and Order, you got to get up sometimes at 6, 5 in the morning. That I told them I'm gonna retire before 10 a.m. That's gonna be my retirement.
I'm surprised after 20 years or what have you, or longer probably, you don't have a little bit more pull, and you tell them but they film when they film, right?
Not in that show. No. I don't give a fuck if you're Tom Cruise.
No shit.
No. That call time is a call time. Because they're trying to get a product done.
I get it. I just don't understand it.
I mean, I'm quite sure you could be somebody that wants to change the hours and stuff. Or you could be, they shoot 5 days and you say, I only want to shoot 4 days. So they'll cram your scenes in. But I'm not there to rock the boat. Dick Wolf told me, he gave me the best compliment I ever got. He said, Ice-T is the least pain in my ass. So I'm not here. You guys wanted me to do this. I'm here to accommodate this. And I believe everything I do is an audition for the next thing I do.
That's probably why you're so successful then.
So when I leave here, somebody's going to call and say, yo, you had Ice in your podcast. How was that? And I want you to get me that next job.
I will.
That's my point. So don't go someplace just because you got a gig or whatever and fuck it off, because now you're fucking off your next gig. So you got to think like that. So my thing is just like, I'm having fun doing what I'm doing. And really just stay alive, be healthy, and
Watch your daughter grow.
yeah, and suck a duck. Stay away from this new shit that's out there. My legacy. Here, let me say the word legacy though. This is what more important. At the end of the day, as a man, your legacy is more important than any amount of money you can leave to your kids. Because right now, my daughter's in Atlanta. She says, I'm Ice-T's daughter. Ropes start opening up for her.
Mm-hmm.
People start looking out for her. Oh, you Ice-T's daughter, blah. My son, one day he tells me, yo, I'm in LA, Dad. I got juice. You got juice? Nigga, that's my juice. Yeah, you're right. Because all those security guards are my age and they looking out for you because you little Ice.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I allow them to drag me. I ended some puffy shit. I end up in some bullshit. Now my kids suffer. My kids now, they no longer have the Ice-T name. Your dad was a sucker. Your dad was a snitch. Your dad was whatever they put on me to ruin my legacy.
Yeah.
That's more important than the money. My little daughter is going to be riding off of my legacy. Yo, you're the daughter. If you meet Malcolm X's daughter, you treat her like queen. Because of Malcolm X.
Mm-hmm.
So if they can destroy your legacy as a man, and the cold thing about now, they'll wait until you die and then try to shit on it. They'll wait until you die. I just seen some shit. Smokey Robinson got some case. I'm like, come on, man. Smokey.
Let the man rest.
No, he's not dead yet. Smokey's alive. But I'm just saying that.
Is he?
Yeah, Smokey's alive. But I ain't going to bring it up. There's some drama around.
Okay.
It. But come on, man.
Yeah.
Come on. This is one of the greatest of all times. You want to try to put salt in his name at this point. That's going to affect his kids and people down the road. So my thing is trying to get out of here alive without a scandal, without bullshit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When I first got in the game, I confessed to all my sins. I said, hey, I was in the streets. I was hustling. I was doing this, that, and the third. You know, one of the keys, meet the enemy before it meets you. So people have already passed judgment on that. And since then, I'm square as a pool table, twice as green. I don't steal toothpicks out of motherfucking restaurants. So that's my job now, is to maintain my legacy for my children. What will people say about Ice-T? They will just say Ice-T was not afraid to try anything.
That's good.
And he tried to do it well.
And you did a lot of stuff really well.
Yeah, did a lot.
I heard you say jack of all trades, master of none.
But I want to master some of it.
I was going to say, you're on the verge of that, if not already. I mean, you could debate both sides of that in rap music and in acting, in my opinion.
But you know what, though? I never want to be the best. I just want to be in the game.
Yeah.
I'm not that kind of person. When I started rapping, I never wanted to be the best rapper. I wanted to be mentioned amongst the rappers. Mm-hmm. Now, there's fans out there that think I'm hands down the best. There's Ice-T fans waving my flags, got tattoos on them, like, fuck everybody. I fucks with Ice-T. I know every word he ever said. That's all that matters, you know. But, you know, I've never been on none of the big top nothing lists, but I've lived very well and I've taken this shit on a ride that very few people will take it on.
Yeah.
So I'm cool with it.
Yeah, you lived an extraordinary life, man.
Yeah.
My buddy, I sent him a text message. I didn't even realize it, but I'm so amped that you were coming on the show. I sent him a text message. He sends back in all these videos of him at one of your concerts. And he's sending me all these rock things. He's like, this is where Ice-T stabs one of his bandmates. And I was like, stabs one of his bandmates?
I stabbed Lil Ice during a song called Psychopath.
Right, because it's also a show, right?
Yeah, so he spits blood up. Yeah. It's entertainment. And you know, the thing of it is, as we start doing the show, we make stuff up. He's like, yo, grab me, Dad.
Yeah, this would be cool.
Yeah, so we just add it and, you know, it's fun. Live performance, you never know what's going to happen.
And you get to do that with your son.
Yeah.
How cool is that?
My daughter, too, she comes out now and opens a song. We have a song called Talk Shit, Get Shot. And she opens that song.
I mean, memories, right? Again, that's part of legacy too, right?
Well, I think having friends and having people that you like is more important. You can have all the money in the world if you're surrounded by assholes and people you don't like. I mean, what good is it?
I agree.
You know? So having some friends and having people so you can enjoy time with is important. Humans don't want to be alone.
Nah, we're not used to it. That's not in our DNA.
It's one of the tortures that they do in the penitentiary. They put you in solitary. If they know that that is a form of, discipline and torture, then that's proof. The worst thing they can do to an inmate is make him be alone.
With his own thoughts.
Yeah. So we like to have, even if it's just somebody to play Xbox with on the other end of the Xbox, we're people that like to be around people. And, I've got my select few, Coco is really the only person I know that I can be around for long, long periods of time.
Yeah.
Without driving me batshit crazy.
Well, that's how you knew she was the one then, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it was probably clear at that point.
Plus, you can have a best friend, but he ain't rubbing your fucking feet. So.
Hope not.
No.
That would be awkward.
Hey, but listen, man, due to the fact this whole podcast is about recovery. God bless anybody out there that's ready on the brink of recovery and trying to get their lives together. It's a difficult thing, but you just got to understand that these drugs are not us. There's things we're putting into our body. Now, people that have mental conditions that are dealing with things like that, that's a whole nother story. They're dealing with something that, it may be hereditary or something that they're having to deal with. But those of us that are putting drugs into our body that are causing damage, it's not a good idea. And also, the younger you are, the more hits your body can take. As you get older, I had a friend who was in a group called Power Trip, Riley, and he had got off of drugs. And when he went back, I guess he did the dose he was used to, and it killed him.
Yeah.
So don't do it. Just figure a way around it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if you got to get high, smoke weed. I mean, I have a dispensary and, I haven't really heard of weed killing anybody, honestly. Weed gives you what I call chronic delay. Weed is I think I'll go to the gym right now, maybe tomorrow. But I haven't heard anybody. But opioids, no. Lean, promethazine, no. Coke, no. Stay away from hard drugs. Heroin, because really that's what these pills are heroin.
They are.
And the cold thing about it is they'll take you and you will lose control. And now the drug is controlling you. You're not controlling the drug. So do what you can, man, and never feel like you're embarrassed or it makes you look less to ask for help. It's a real thing. I've had my friend Chino XL recently commit suicide, and I don't. That was nothing to do with drugs, but we're all dealing with issues, and find somebody you could talk to.
Yeah. Because
once we said we as humans need each other.
Yeah. I'm sorry for your loss.
Yeah, I lose people every year. We all lose people every year, but we got to take it easy. And now with fentanyl, it's not like people think, oh, well, to die from heroin, I got to do it so long that I become an addict and it eventually kills me. Can fentanyl kill you the first time?
No, there's plenty of people that have never tried to do it for the first time or take a perk that's a pressed pill that has fentanyl in it, never wake up.
Yeah.
And that's what, it's the same thing with your boy who you wrote the book with, right? One decision. It's one pill. I mean, it'll change or even end an entire
life.
End your life.
End your life. Yeah. It's scary right now. It's scary right now. So yeah. Stay clear of that shit if you can.
So grateful that you came, man.
Thank you, man. Thanks for having me.
I mean, I could talk to you forever. Trust me. I mean, you are the most captivating person too.
Well, we say it's always a treat when players meet.
I guess so. I'll take that as a compliment.
It's always a treat.
All right. I appreciate it.
All right. Take care. Peace.